And welcome, my beautiful souls, to the Oracle of the Light channel. My name is SP Psychic Medium. I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you're watching from. First of all, welcome to all my new subscribers. Hello. And welcome to all my lovely viewers from all around the world. You're so welcome, and I'm so happy you're watching. Before we begin, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And if you enjoy the channel, do subscribe below too. It really, really does mean so much. So, on today's show, it's an interesting one. Today's show, we are looking at MAGA regime in pieces is the title of today. So what are we looking at? We're looking at a few things actually today. We've got four main strands. So first of all, how is it in pieces? Well, let's just look at this. We have the economy. It's sinking, linked to the tariffs, creating unrest in the market, and possible insider trading. I know there's possible, they're looking into that as well. The immigration department, the second thing we're going to be looking at is, or ICE as it's otherwise known, is also facing orders from the Supreme Court too. And then the Department of Defense is in total chaos right now, and is also having lots of investigations into possible leaks. So there's loads of leaks going on there potentially, and so they're being investigated. And as to whether those leaks are and everything, and the cause of them and everything. Also, they're laying off federal workers unlawfully. They're freezing funds to education institutions. Thousands of people are protesting, and the tariffs are failing completely. So yeah, as you can see, it's not going very well at the moment, I think you would say. In fact, another way you could say it is that the MAGA regime is in pieces. As I say, there are lots of investigations into the DOD, the Department of Defense, with these potential leaks and things. There's the immigration department and the economy. So what we're going to do is let's look at the questions and everything to begin with. So so we'll just look at the questions and everything. So the first question we're going to look at is, what can the cards tell us about the US economy? Sort of how is it going right now? Obviously, we do know that they're on a major dive, but it'll be interesting to see what the cards say as well. Then the next question is, what can the cards tell us about ICE, the immigration department? As we say, we've got lots of investigations into them going on right now as well. And then the third question, what can the cards tell us about the DOD, the Department of Defense, which has also recently hit the news as well, recently, with lots of things going on there. And then also I thought it'd be interesting to also ask, what can the cards tell us about things going generally for the Felons regime? So how is the regime going generally? I thought it'd be really interesting to ask the cards. So yeah, we've got a few different questions to ask today. It'd be really interesting to see what comes out and what the cards say. As I say, for entertainment purposes only. I'm going to use the tarot cards to begin with in this box. I do read lots of different types of cards, and I also use rods occasionally as well and stuff. So let's get them out. These are the Cosmic Tarot. I've got out of the box here. And then I'm going to use some Oracle cards as well. The Oracle of the Light cards here. Okay, so just going to shuffle these cards in. Give them a good old shuffle. For this first question, tell us about what can the cards tell us about the US economy? Of course, all the readings are for right now. Of course, things can change, but it will be really interesting to see what the cards say about how things are going right now with things, because there's not just one aspect of things that are going wrong. I think it's worth to say about the Felons regime at the moment. There's so many different things that are falling apart, and that I thought actually I want to incorporate them all. I could, in fairness, do a video about each of these different things, and maybe I will, but we'll see. So let's have a just shuffling the cards, twisting around a bit too. I do also read reverse cards as well. Okay, so what can the cards tell us about the US economy? Let's see. Okay, so We have the Seven of Wands and the Princess of Wands. So trickery is being involved here with the economy, because it's wands is to do with magic and everything like that. But first of all, the Seven of Wands is so the economy. So the Seven of Wands, the right way up, is to do with fighting off. Maybe you could even say fighting off opportunities, fighting off potential things that could happen for you. But the wrong way up, this to me is like diminishing opportunities. So it feels like, whereas before, and you could like, there might be many avenues of trade. For example, you could look at each of these ones as an avenue of trade, because we're looking at the economy. But obviously, when the card's upside down, those avenues of trade are being cut off. So I think this card is actually representing isolation. So it feels like the US economy is becoming more isolated and more isolated, I feel, with this card. It's trying to look like it knows what it's doing, because this man look like he knows what he's doing, but he doesn't at all, because he's upside down. He's seeing the world from the wrong way up, and he's isolating everything. And isolation isn't the key, because the very nature of trade is to connect to others, to trade with. Okay, you can't trade by yourself, can you? You can't trade on your own. And the trouble is that the isolation is happening, therefore diminishing opportunities. The Princess of Wands, I think this could be, I feel this is someone in MAGA. I feel this is someone in the regime that is connected to Felon 45. That's almost like giving him their ideas, almost, I feel like, almost trying to manipulate him to their thinking. So I don't know exactly who this could be. It could be Moscow Marge, possibly. It could be possibly her. Or this could be even, yeah, I'm just feeling this may be her, but there's definitely this sense of there's someone that is also pushing for these tariffs on and pushing for the isolationness of it, if you know what I mean. So I'm not quite sure who this is. She might raise her head soon about this, but I feel there's a lady coming into the picture here who might be also trying to steer Felon 45 to her advantage. So I'm not entirely sure who this is at the moment. There's no one other than Moscow Marge, possibly, or Moscow Green, if you like. So yeah, there's that potential look at there. I also feel as well with this card, you can see that there's like almost flowers in her hand, but this is upside down. So there's definitely stunted growth going on. Economy is stunted growth, stunted opportunities, less opportunities, doors closing rather than doors opening here. And there is some sort of, there's definitely a female, it feels like, because this is a female card, also a bit in the steering seat here as well, doing some manipulation there. I'm not quite sure who that might be, but it might be, yeah, there's some kind of female connected to this as well. It might be Moscow Marge. Obviously, we're aware that she was connected to the possible insider trading. So I know that's been investigated. So it could well be her, but I might be wrong. So next, we're going to look at the next question then. Actually, let's get an Oracle of the Light card as well for this question. What can the cards tell us about the US economy? We'll ask the Oracle of the Light. These are the Oracle of the Light cards. Also, as well, I need to say the fence on this card is significant too, in terms of building walls in between nations rather than building trade, connecting to them, and building barriers up around themselves. So there's a big isolationist approach to the economy really coming forward in the cards, which is not the way ahead if you want to trade, I have to see what the Oracle of the Light cards say for this as well. I'm just giving them a bit of a shuffle. Let's have a look. Right then, so all will be revealed. So it might be that this female comes into it later on because it's about to be revealed who that female may well be, which is why I'm not too sure who they may be, other than Moscow Mars potentially. But this is all will be revealed. I think there is more to be revealed on the economy in the sense of this isolationist thing. I feel it's also a sense of they're going to maybe become even more isolated than they are, you know. Also, I need to give you the border that is also on this card. That triangle has a big border on it too, and that's all about that isolationist approach. You know, they can't see beyond the border. In actual fact, everyone they want to trade with is beyond the border, but they can't see them. So there's this very much isolationist to this that initial reading. I'd say, yeah, isolation is not a good way to go, but it looks like that's the way it's going. So let's move on to the next question now. What can the cards tell us about ICE, the immigration department? How are they getting on at the moment? Aside from having lots of Supreme Courts ruling over them, let's see how it's all going. Of course, all readings are entertainment purposes only, as you're aware of. And do subscribe if you're enjoying the video. It really does mean a lot. Hit that subscribe button. Okay, so what can the cards tell us about ICE, the immigration department? Okay, so our first card, Three of Cups. The second card, the Queen of Pentacles. So the Three of Cups, how is it going with the I actually feel this is almost like that person behind that is also like trying to hold and catch that person. It feels like I feel like with this card is there's not a lot of love in the department at the moment. They've lost a lot of love. I feel they're just doing a lot of things without even thinking about the potential, whether they're even lawful or not. I'm seeing this person just grab that woman and not even think twice about, is that the way to do it? You know, values and everything like that. How respect. I really feel there's a sense of like they're really losing the way, not seeing what's around them, not seeing the beauty that is around them, just stuck in their ways, keeping themselves to themselves. I think they know, some people that know what they're doing isn't right, but they're not thinking about it. They're keeping their eyes away from it, you know. See that lack of eye contact that man has at the back there, you know. I definitely feel a sense of just do it. Don't even think about it. Don't plan for it. Don't worry if it's lawful or not. And the Queen of Pentacles. Now, this is really interesting. So the Queen of Pentacles connected to money. I think this may well be Melania here, because I think this is Melania knows that she is in this strange position of really, it's like this like juxtaposition. Should she not be included in what they're doing or anything, but she's sort of managing to sort of skirt away from it by the position that she's in. So I think this is all about how like there is no logic here. There is no I just see this Queen of Pentacles because the Pentacles is all connected to money, also connected to, and the fact it's upside down, I just really sense that I don't even know whether she may be encouraging even Felon 45 with it. Ironically, like you wouldn't have thought that, but she may even be encouraging him behind the scenes. We don't know, of course, but she may well be encouraging him behind the scenes, giving a prod to do that, to almost take the camera away from her. I think it's to do with shifting the focus away from her. I don't want everyone to look at me, because otherwise they might say that I have to leave, you know. I think that's what it's about here, you know. And that's maybe why she's kept such a low profile too, because no one's seen her around. And yet this may well be to do with partly why she's kept such a low profile, actually. She's also the second card down in the two cards, which is also low. So low profile coming out with Melania possibly here. And keeping her money close to her chest. She kind of like is protecting her access to wealth, I believe, you know. Yeah, very interesting. Let me get a Oracle of the Light card, 2 for that same question. Journey to the Moon. So this to me is the immigration department, and Journey to the Moon is traveling, and this is all this is quite a traveling card and a journey card. And I feel this is to do with almost like I feel Journey to the Moon is almost issues connected to traveling. We are aware, I am already aware that there's things going on in the borders and the border control and stuff, but I do feel I need to stay with you. The overriding message of this is issues with traveling, issues with journeys, you know, that we're no longer there, which of course I feel this is as well as to do with tourism as well. So yeah, journeys and tourism all going down, you know. So the next one, we'll look at what can the card tell us about the DOD, the Department of Defense. So we'll have a look at the DOD. What is it saying? Okay. The upside down emperor and the wow, okay. So the emperor upside down. This is very much a card of Trump, this one, but this could also represent the guy at the head of DOD at the moment as well. But it's all going wrong. It's all going wrong. Now, also interestingly, the DOD is one of the most crucial departments in the government because it's so much money is spent there, and it's also to do with the country's defense as well, against potential attacks and stuff like this, which is why it's so significant in that sense, you know. But it's all going wrong. It's even going wrong where they're really now. I think this DOD thing, what this suggests, having the tower out at this point, suggests that the DOD collapse may be very closely connected to the regime's collapse. Okay, I think that's what the tower falling down, I think, is to do with. Which is why we've also got this card up too, because this could have not only just be the Hegseth, Pete Hegseth, but it could also be Felon 45 as well, simultaneously, because almost the head of the DOD, Hegseth, could also be, it could almost start the momentum going for the regime to collapse, you know. So really interesting that. And then next, we'll get a Oracle of the Light card. The Heart of Wisdom. So, but interestingly, this is a playing card, and I think that this is what it's like. I think they're just betting on things. Just moving along a bit, the cards, so I've got some space for my last one. I feel then that this card is all about almost like the betting on it, like a game of cards, you know. Also, I need to say, like, it's falling down like a tower of cards. Because interestingly, the card we've just had before that is the tower upside down. So it's also connects to the fact that the DOD may be at the center of the regime collapse, if you know what I mean. And also falling down like a tower of cards. Either way, the DOD is most definitely in trouble here. Most definitely at the highest levels. This may also bring in some, even though we've had the Supreme Court rulings already, the ICE immigration department, it may be that somehow it gets even higher with the DOD, potentially where other countries might step in here, maybe. I don't know, because it feels like it's going to be even bigger than the immigration department. So there may be some other countries possibly stepping in here to stop the risk to them, almost, you know. Very interesting. So the last card, the last few cards, what can the cards tell us about how things are going generally for the Felons regime? Obviously, we are aware they're not going great, I'll be honest. not the best innings so far right now. But let's see what the cards say. You know, let's see what they say. So let's just cut the cards a bit. Four of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles. So I think there's not a lot of love. They're feeling very lonely at the moment, almost. They're feeling a bit abandoned, the regime at the moment. They're not feeling the love. They're feeling on their own. Yeah, things are starting to... They're not getting the support, I feel. This is the key thing that they thought they might have got. And I think that that's what they're missing. There's not that support there. There's not that net of people going, well, we like you, we like you. And the Nine of Pentacles, what I think this is to do with is denial. You know, I think this is Melania in her Mar-a-Lago or something like that, where there's a lot of denial and they're just locking it out and let's just play golf. Let's not think about actually what's happening. Let's just play golf. Let's just go into denial. So I think this is the response. I think even though you wouldn't expect how this card to come out, how generally it's going, generally though, they are in a state of denial. This is what it's about. Generally, they are in a state of denial, denying what actually is going on. And we've seen the gaslighting of what's actually going on. And I think that is what this card is about. Oh, things are rosy. Look at the beautiful sky. It's like, but it's anything but, you know, anything but. And I'll get our last Oracle of the Light card. So last Oracle of the Light card, upside down spirit. So this is the losing the spirit. This is to do with how are they doing generally? Well, they're losing their spirit. They're losing their confidence. They're losing their drive. They're losing their energy. They're losing their spirit. This shows that things are whittling away and vanishing. Okay. It's almost like the end has already all clicked into place now, you know. The end is almost nigh, if you like, you know. The seeds have been sown for the end that can't be reversed. Okay. And it feels like the end is on its way. It feels like to me, you know. So what we're going to do now, we're going to do our quick reflection over the questions. So, and reflection and summary. So to start off then, what can the cards tell us about the US economy? Lowering opportunities and less connections to those around us. And the Princess of Wands is to do with like this a potential female getting a finger involved here with the economy as well. Someone getting involved with it too, steering the felon in maybe their direction so they come off the best. That's definitely coming out. And all will be revealed is that there's more to come with this, you know, so watch this space. But it feels like definitely an isolationist approach to this, you know, definitely. And then the next cards that we got, and the question was, what can the cards tell us about ICE immigration? Well, they're just not thinking about what they're doing. They're being far more brutal and physical as well with this. But the people that are doing it aren't thinking about what they're doing and the actions. The Queen of Pentacles is keeping the money close, potentially Melania here as well, keeping a low profile so she doesn't get caught out almost purposely. So, and journey to the moon affecting people's journeys to and from the country and also around the country too. And the third question then, what can the cards tell us about the DOD? Well, it's completely upside down. You know, this could also turn upside down the world, and not just the DOD who's in charge, Hegseth, but also the felon here as well. The tower is really going to be falling down. Is the DOD collapse at the heart of the regime's collapse? Let's see what happens, you know. But it may well be. This is certainly showing that the kingdom is going to be falling down around the DOD almost, yeah. And then also at the heart of wisdom, they're using it. It's like playing cards to them. They're playing a game, you know. It's all a game. They're not taking it seriously, you know. And then the last question, what can the cards tell us about things going generally for the Felons regime? For the first card was the Four of Cups. Not a lot of love, not feeling the love, feeling alone, feeling abandoned. So the effects that they would have hoped that these things would have had are not taking effect. And also people are coming in, standing up to it. And this is one of the biggest things of why it's making them weak. People standing up to it and going, no. I feel this is a denial card to do with Melania, and it could also be Felons sitting in Mar-a-Lago, just denying everything that's going on, the fact that it's all going up in smoke, all upside down, all crazy, you know, and they're just going to sit in their little bubble, you know. But they can sit in their bubble, but their spirit is disappearing, okay? Their energy and spirit is disappearing. Their spirit is whittling away, and that's what the upside down spirit card it means here. They're losing their spirit. They're losing their drive. They're losing their confidence, you know. It's eroding and being eroded all the time, you know, and it's whittling away, you know. Almost like it feels like the end is nigh here, you know. It's not positive, you know. So thank you so much for joining me today. I really do hope you enjoyed it too. Don't forget, if you did enjoy this video, hold on a moment, let me just click that off a minute. There we go. Yeah. Don't forget, everybody, if you did enjoy this video, give you a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe below. It really, really does mean so much. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the show and look forward to seeing you soon. Take care with lots of love and light from the Oracle of the Light. See you later, everybody.